Listen closely, my friends. Someone in your life is smiling at you and hoping you never rise, not a stranger, not an enemy you could name if someone asked you to. Someone who has your number saved. Someone who asks how the plan is going, not because they want it to work, but because they want to know how close you are. You have already felt this. Just talk yourself out of it. A congratulation that arrived a second too late. A silence when you shared the good news. Advice that sounded like a care and quietly made you smaller. Noticed it. And then you told yourself you were imagining things, because the alternative was too heavy to carry that day. You were not imagining it. Marcus Aurelius knew this feeling. He was the most powerful man in the world, surrounded by advisors who bowed to his face. And he still began his private notebook by preparing himself for the people who would smile at him that morning. You are going to learn the 10 signs he taught himself to read. Understand something first. This is not about villains. The person quietly hoping you stay where you are is rarely dramatic about it. They do not sabotage you. They do not attack you. They do not wake up in the morning and choose to be against you. They just need you to remain exactly the size you have always been. Because your growth costs them something. If you become disciplined, their excuses stop working. If you get free, their cage becomes visible. If you rise, they have to look at the years they did not. Progress is not an attack on them, but it feels like one. And that feeling does not need their permission to become resentment. So it comes out sideways. They don't insult you. They correct you. They don't attack you. They delay you. They don't wish you harm. They just quietly prefer your struggle. The hardest part, the part almost nobody is willing to say out loud, is that the most dangerous version of this does not look like envy at all. It looks like concern. It sounds like someone who loves you. That is sign number 8, and when you hear it, you are going to recognize a specific voice in your life. Seneca warned his student about exactly this. He said that to mix with the crowd is harmful, because there is no person who does not make some vice attractive to us, who does not press it upon us, or leave a mark we do not notice. You do not become who you spend time with by choosing to. You become them by not noticing. Now, before the 10 signs, you need the Stoic frame. Without it, this video makes you paranoid. This video makes you free. Epictetus taught that there are things in our control and things not in our control. In our control are our judgments, our intentions, our responses. Not in our control are our reputations, our bodies, and above all, other people. You cannot control who resents you. You cannot control who whispers about you. You cannot audit every heart in the room. So, if you are watching this, hoping to build a list of enemies, you have already lost. That is not strength. That is anxiety wearing strength's clothing. Here is what you can control, what you reveal, who you give access to. How much of your life is available for other people to hold, and how expensive it is to move you. Marcus wrote a line I want you to keep. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, not to expose them, not to humiliate them, not to win the argument in the group chat at 11 at night, to not become them. So we are not learning these signs to accuse anyone. We are learning them the way a sailor learns weather. Not to argue with the sky, but to know when to bring the sails in. 10 signs. Watch for how many you already knew. One more thing before we begin. As you go through these, do not ask who does this to me. Ask something better. Where in my life am I still asking permission? That question is the one that actually changes something. pay attention to speed. So, when something goes wrong for you, notice how quickly they arrive. The message comes in within the hour. Tone is soft. The words are kind. I heard what happened. Are you okay? Now compare that to the last time something went right. The win took them 3 days to acknowledge. When it came, it was short. A thumbs up, a single word. Something that technically counted as support and cost them nothing. That gap is the data, not the words, the delay. People rush toward the news that makes them comfortable. Your failure is comfortable because it confirms that the way they are living is fine. Your success is expensive because it asks a question about their own life that they do not want to answer. So they are fast for your collapse and slow for your rise. And they never notice they are doing it. Epictetus said that when you are told someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself. Simply say that they were clearly unaware of your other faults, or they would have mentioned those too. That is not sarcasm. That is detachment. It is the refusal to let another person's account of you become a project you have to manage. What to do? Nothing loud. Do not confront a person for being slow to celebrate you. You simply notice, and you adjust the depth of what you share with them next time. Speed reveals appetite. Watch what they hurry toward, and ask yourself honestly, when was the last time someone was early to your good news? Who arrived before you even finished telling it? Hold on to that name. That is a different category of person. And you probably have fewer of them than you assume. Most people are not cruel. They are just honest at speeds they cannot control. This one is disguised as wisdom. You tell them about the plan, and they nod, and they think, and then they say something that sounds mature. Just be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. Should probably keep the job for now. I've seen people try this. Notice that every piece of advice points the same direction. Down. Real counsel has range. It sometimes says slow down, and it sometimes says go. Advice that always, in every season, under every condition, tells you to shrink is not counsel. It is a preference wearing counsel's clothing. Ask yourself the only question that matters here. Has this person ever done the thing they are warning you about? Because most people are not giving you the lesson of their experience. They are giving you the shape of their fear. They are describing the wall they stopped at and calling it the edge of the world. Seneca told his student to choose carefully whom he admitted into his life, to ponder for a long time whether to accept a man as a friend, but once he had decided, to welcome him completely, on consideration. Then full trust. Most people do the reverse. They give full trust immediately and consider it for years afterward, usually while cleaning up the damage. What to do? Separate the two categories in your mind permanently. There are people you love, and there are people you take counsel from. These lists overlap far less than you were raised to believe. Pretending otherwise has cost you time you are not getting back. Loathe widely. Take advice narrowly. And there is a second layer here that takes most people a decade to see. Much of the worst advice you will ever receive comes from people who genuinely love you. Parents, old friends, the ones who would stand in front of a car for you. Why? Because love wants you safe. Ambition requires you exposed. Those two things are not enemies, but they are not the same instinct. And the people who love you most will almost always vote for safety. So when they tell you not to risk it, they are not betraying you. They are protecting a version of you that they are terrified of losing. You can honor that completely and still not take the instruction. There is a silence that has a texture to it. You tell them the thing you were proud of. Room changes temperature. They say, "Oh, nice." And then they immediately change the subject, or ask a question about a detail that undercuts it, or find the one risk inside your good news and hold it up to the light. You walk away from that conversation feeling smaller than you did walking in, and you cannot point at a single sentence that did it. That is the signature. No cruelty you can quote. Only a mood you can feel. Understand what is happening inside them. Your good news forced a comparison they did not ask for. For a moment they saw their own life next to yours. They did not like the arithmetic. The silence is not about you. It is them managing a feeling in real time and failing. That is worth compassion. It is not worth access. Marcus wrote that it never ceases to amaze him. We all love ourselves more than other people, and yet we care more about their opinion of us than our own. Ride that again through today's lens. Brought them your victory so they could tell you it was real. Why did it need their signature? What to do? Stop submitting your wins for approval. Live a good news the way you would report the weather. Flatly, without leaning in for the reaction. The moment you stop needing the applause, you stop being able to be wounded by the silence. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. Why do you tell people? What is the actual function of the announcement? If the answer is connection, good, that is what people are for. But if the answer is confirmation, then you have handed a stranger the authority to decide whether your work was real, and you have done it voluntarily. The Stoics were relentless about this. Yours is the effort and the intention. The reception was never in the contract. Watch for the person who keeps bringing up the old version of you. They tell the story again at the dinner table. The embarrassing one. The year you failed. The person you were at 22, when you were lost and loud and wrong about almost everything. They tell it with affection. Everyone laughs. And something in your chest goes tight. That story is not nostalgia. It is an anchor. Because if the old you is the real you, and everything you have built since is a costume, and they get to keep relating to you as the person who was easier to be around. You changed. They did not update the file, and some of them will not update it because the outdated version is the one where they were comfortable. Epictetus said, "First, tell yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." He did not say first get permission from everyone who knew you before. People who knew you at your lowest do not automatically have authority over who you are becoming. Familiarity is not the same as insight. Sometimes it is the opposite. They have known you so long they have stopped actually looking. What to do? Do not argue with the story. Arguing proves it still has power. Let it sit there unclaimed and keep becoming someone the story no longer describes. Time will make it obvious without you saying a word. If you are building this kind of discipline in your own life, subscribe. New Stoic lesson every week, and stay with me, because sign number 8 is the one almost nobody catches in time. You mention something small, a win, a trip, a plan. Answer with a bigger one. You mention you have started running in the mornings. They ran a half marathon last year. You mention the project. They know someone who did that project at scale. Every sentence you offer comes back to you. Slightly outbid. You were not playing a game. They were. They have been keeping score in a match you did not know you had entered. Here is what makes it exhausting. You cannot name it without sounding petty. If you say anything, insecure. So you stay quiet and you slowly begin to edit yourself around them. Mentioning less, softening more, leaving things out. That editing is the cost. You lose access to your own honesty in their presence. Marcus told himself to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be and simply be one. Competitive person is arguing constantly. Their whole personality is an argument about their own worth, submitted to an audience that never asked for the case. What to do? Fuse the frame. When they outbid you, let them have it. That's great. Full stop. Do not defend your smaller version. Do not escalate. A competition requires two participants. Withdraw. Game quietly ends. And notice what happens in the weeks after you stop playing. Some of them relax. Tension drains out and something real appears underneath. Because they were never competing with you. They were competing with a feeling, and you stopped feeding it. Others escalate. They push harder, reach further, need the win more visibly. That tells you what you needed to know without a single confrontation. Withdrawal is not avoidance. It is the cheapest diagnostic you have. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 have you already survived? Just put the number. I read them. Some people listen to help you. Some people listen to gather. You will know the difference later, always later, when something you confessed in a soft moment comes back in a hard one, repeated to someone else, or dropped into an argument as leverage, or used as a joke in a room where you had no context to defend. Watch how a person handles the small things you tell them. That is the audition. Whoever repeats a small confidence will eventually repeat a large one. The only variable is price. And notice the ones who only get close during your confessions. Who lean in when you are ashamed. Who ask follow-up questions about your worst decision with a warmth they never show for your best one. They are not building intimacy. They are building an inventory. Seneca said to consider for a long time whether to trust a man, and to speak with a friend as boldly as with yourself. But to make him a friend first. Order matters. Most of us reverse it. We become vulnerable in order to create closeness, when vulnerability was supposed to be the reward for closeness that already existed. To do. Make disclosure a consequence of proven trust, not a tool for creating it. Give people small things first, and watch what happens to them. Privacy is not dishonesty, it is architecture. And be careful of the modern lie that says, total openness is the same as integrity. It is not. A man who tells everything to everyone is not brave. He simply has not decided what is worth guarding. Do you tell a stranger your bank details because honesty matters? Of course not. Understand instinctively that some information carries risk, and that discretion is not deceit. Your fears are worth more than your bank details. Treat them accordingly. Map the pattern across years, not weeks. There are people in your life who become close, reliably, during your worst seasons. They show up during the breakup, during the job loss, during the months you could not get out of bed, and they are genuinely good during that time. Present, warm, generous, then you stabilize, and they drift. Have probably interpreted this as their being busy. It is worth considering a harder reading. Some people can only relate to you from above. Or struggle gives them a role. The strong one, the helper, the one with perspective. When you recover, the role disappears. And with it the reason to be near you. This one deserves gentleness. It is often not malice. It is a person who has never learned any way to be close except through being needed. That is a wound, not a crime. But you should still see it clearly. because the trap is subtle. You learn without deciding to. That struggling is how you keep people. Marcus wrote to receive without pride and to let go without attachment. Some relationships were true for a season and were never built for the next one. Are allowed to be grateful and still let it end. What to do? Notice who is comfortable with your success. That is the rarer quality, and it is the one worth building a life around. Anyone can sit with you in the dark. Far fewer can stand next to you in the light without flinching. And turn this one around, because it is the only sign on this list that asks something of you. Are you that person for anyone? When someone you know gets what you have been chasing, do you arrive early or do you find the flaw? Everyone watching this has been on both sides of this list. The point of the 10 signs is not to identify enemies. It is to make sure you are not quietly becoming one. It's the one. If you take a single sign from this video, take this one, because it does not sound like envy. It sounds like love. I'm just worried about you. You're changing. You've been distant. I don't want you to lose yourself in this. I'm saying it because nobody else will. Every word of that is the vocabulary of care, and sometimes it is care. That is exactly what makes it so difficult and why you have spent years unable to sort it out. So here is the test. Real concern is specific, and it is rare. Names a behavior. You have not slept properly in 3 weeks. It arrives occasionally at the moments that warrant it, and it can be satisfied by evidence. Disguised envy is vague and it is constant. It names your direction, not your behavior. You're changing. It cannot be satisfied, because no evidence will ever resolve it. Every reassurance you offer produces a new worry. And watch the timing. Notice whether the concern arrives when you are suffering, or whether it arrives precisely in the weeks when things start working. Concern that only appears alongside your progress is not concern. It is a request, and the request is, please go back. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. The person in front of you is disturbed, but it is not by your ambition. It is by what your ambition says about their own standing still. You can hold that with real compassion. You cannot let it steer what to do. Thank them sincerely and change nothing. Thank you for looking out for me. Then continue. You do not owe anyone a debate about your own direction, and the ones who love you will still be there in 6 months. The ones who were managing you will quietly lose interest. Once they see that the concern is not working, you will not witness this directly. That is the nature of it. It reaches you as a fragment, a comment someone repeats, a strange look from a person who should have no opinion of you, a room that goes quiet a half second too long when you walk in. And now you are in the most dangerous position in this entire video, because the temptation is to investigate, to ask around, reconstruct the conversation, find out who said what, and build a case. Do not spend your life there. That investigation has no end. The person you become while conducting it is worse than anything they said about you. Marcus asked himself how much time a man saves by not looking to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks. How much is spared to the one who looks only at his own conduct, at whether his action was just, his word was true. Your reputation is not yours. It lives in other people's heads. It is assembled out of their moods and their needs and their half-memories, and you do not have administrative access to it. You never did. What is yours is your conduct. That is the whole estate. To do. Make the gap between the private you and the public you as small as you can. So small that any accurate report is fine, and any inaccurate one eventually collapses under contact with the actual you. Then let the rumors run. They are exhausting to maintain. Character is not, and consider how much of your energy is currently held hostage by an imagined courtroom. How many hours have you spent rehearsing a defense for a trial that will never be held? How many arguments have you won in the shower against people who were not thinking about you at all? That is the real cost, not what they said. The rent you pay to keep replaying it, this is the root. Every other sign on this list grows out of this one. Not all of them are against you. Some of them need a fixed version of you in order for their own story to hold together. And when you move, the story cracks. You will feel it most clearly at the exact moment you improve. You quit the drinking, and suddenly you are no fun. You get serious about the work, and suddenly you think you're better than everyone. You get quieter, steadier, harder to provoke, and suddenly you have changed. Yes, that was the goal. Understand this, and you will stop being confused by the people you love. They are not reacting to your behavior. They are reacting to what your behavior implies about theirs. Or discipline is an accidental verdict on their comfort. You never delivered it. They heard it anyway. This is why becoming who you intend to be will cost you relationships you did not expect to lose. Not through conflict, through drift, through a slow discovery that the only thing you shared was a version of you that no longer exists. Seneca wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and most of the suffering here is anticipatory. It is the months you spend not changing, because you can already imagine what they will say. They will say it. It will be less severe than the version in your head. And it will pass. What to do? Let them adjust, or let them go. Do not go back. You cannot shrink to a size that makes everyone comfortable and also become the person you were meant to be. One of those has to be surrendered. Choose deliberately and choose once. And there is a mercy in this that nobody tells you about. Some of the people who resist your change will come back. Not immediately, not with an apology, but months later, quietly, with a question. How did you do it? Because your change proved something was possible that they had written off. The same fact that threatened them eventually becomes the thing that frees them. You cannot force that. You can only keep going and leave the door unlocked. So now you have the 10. They celebrate your failures faster than your wins. They give advice that keeps you small. They go quiet at your good news. They anchor you to who you used to be. They compete when you were not competing. They collect your weaknesses. They arrive only in your struggle. They dress envy as concern. They describe you differently in your absence. And underneath all of it, they need you unchanged. Now hear the warning, because this is where most people ruin it. Do not walk away from this video and start cutting people off. Do not audit every friendship you have tonight. Do not build a list. That is not wisdom. That is fear that has learned some vocabulary. Stoic response to being surrounded by imperfect people is not withdrawal. Marcus began his day expecting to meet the ungrateful, the arrogant, the dishonest, envious. And then he went out and did his duty among them anyway, without bitterness, because he understood that this is simply what people are. Being surprised by it every morning is its own kind of foolishness. You do not need fewer people. You need better placement of the people you have. Keep your circle small. Keep your plans quiet. Keep your reactions expensive. Let the people who want you small watch you become unreadable. Not cold, not hostile, just no longer available for the game. Them nothing to hold and nothing to use, and the whole apparatus stops working on its own. And remember what Marcus said about revenge. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Somewhere out there, someone is smiling and hoping you fail. You will probably never know their name. You do not need to. You only need to become someone whose peace cannot be borrowed, not be bargained with, and cannot be broken by anyone who never had the courage to build their own. So what will you do with the next conversation? And the silence comes after your good news. Will you fill it, explain it, shrink it? Or will you simply let it sit there and stay exactly the same size you were? That choice is the whole philosophy. Not the reading, not the quotes. The half second where you decide whether another person's discomfort gets to edit you. That is the work. Start tomorrow morning.